These are the personas you want to build early game in P5X. The first persona I want to mention here is Succubus. Succubus is a tier 1 persona you unlock really early on that has access to Rebellion. Now the way Rebellion works is it increases one ally's crit by 9.3% plus 1.6% for every 10% crit Wonder has, up to a maximum of 6.4% for 3 turns. Now that's a lot of percents, but just know the way it works that it increases your ally's crit rate that you cast the spell on. And the way Succubus's passive works is that she even further increases the ally's critical rate every time she uses a skill, and increases it by another 10.2% on top of the crit rate from Rebellion already. It's also just a great skill that makes allies crit a hell of a lot more. And to even further improve her offensive buffing capabilities, her highlight skill increases all allies damage dealt by 29.5% for 2 turns. Honestly, just a great offensive buffer. There's no reason not to build her. Tier 1 persona. Build her. Now, it seems appropriate since I mentioned Succubus first, I would mention Apsaras second, just because she has the same skill, she has Rebellion. Obviously, Rebellion does the same thing, it still increases the allies' crit rate by the same numbers, but the difference is her passive. Whenever she does cast Rebellion on an ally, she'll increase their defense by 13.3% for 2 turns, and if you were to overclock her, this would go up to 15.4% for 2 turns. This makes her good at both offensively buffing because she can buff crit rate while also increasing survivability, giving them defense at the same time. Now this once again just makes her a very versatile persona. There's really no content you bring her into where it feels wrong. And she has the same highlight skill as Succubus too, which makes it so she can also buff attack. And with all this in mind, she can now buff critical rate, damage output, and survivability. She's really just a jack of all trades persona, someone that works in just about anything. She's a great buffer just to have overall. Amazing. Now this is one I'm sure you've seen in a lot of other videos if you watched any. This is Jikokuten, and the reason he's always so recommended is because he has early access to Madoru Kaja. The way Madoru Kaja works is it buffs the attack of all of the allies on the field. It goes 10.9% plus 0.9 for every 500% attack Wonder has, up to a maximum of 7.2. This honestly just makes him a great all-round attack buffer for the entire team. And not even to mention the way his passive works, whoever the main target is while you're casting Madoru Kaja gets their attack increased by an extra 13.5%, and when the target's HP is less than 60%, this effect becomes 30% instead of the base 13.5. So you're able to buff your main DPS even more while also simultaneously giving an attack buff to the entire team. Okay, and I'm adding this in post-editing because I forgot to mention if you do overclock him, it increases the main target's attack by 15.5% instead of the base 13.5, so yeah, it's even more attack for the main DPS. This guy is great for just a pure flat damage buff, no crit rate shenanigans, just straight damage output. And if you wanted even more damage, he has access to the same exact highlight skill that I showed you with Apsaras and Succubus. If you really did want a persona that just flat buffs your damage, this is a great guy to have around. The attack buffs are unmatched at this early in the game. Now this one honestly has a very special place in my heart because ever since I discovered her, I have not taken her off my team, I don't think once. Even though I'm not gonna lie, I can't pronounce her name. But she has access to Psychokinetic Disruption, and the way that this works is that she deals 74% of her attack as side damage to all foes and reduces their defense at the same time by 10% for 2 turns. Now this already makes this a good AoE damage hit and a good debuff for reducing the defense every single time she uses it. But what makes this even better is the way that her passive works. The way that her passive works is that when attacking a foe with decreased defense with a skill, she does bonus side damage up to 38% of her attack one time. Now I'll put footage of this on the screen here, but the way that this works is every single time she casts her spell, it actually does proc this passive, meaning every single time she uses her skill 1, she does more side damage on top of that, while reducing defense at the same time. Now you won't be using her highlight skill as much as it is just 180% attack as side damage, there's no special gimmick to it, it's just another flat hit. But in AoE content, I do honestly love her ability to output decent damage while reducing defense consistently. I personally haven't taken her off my team since I got her. I think she is more than worth your time to invest into. Now this is another one I see guys mentioned a lot, and this is Lamia. This is one that I personally love to run on teams with On, for example, because the way that her skill works is that she deals 150% attack as fire damage to one foe with a 50% base chance to inflict burn. And if there are no enemies already burned, double that chance, so it would be 100%. Guaranteed. And on teams with On as a main DPS, you do want enemies to be burning, and the way that Lamia's passive also works is that when a foe is burning, it increases the party's attack by 10%. And in a lot of these teams that you're going to be using her in, foes are going to be burning no matter what, even just because she will be setting them on fire herself. At that guaranteed chance, because a foe is already burning, her passive increases her element accuracy by 15%, or 35% for burning, and if you were to overclock her, that 35% turns into 40%, so she'll still be making things burn just about every single turn that she uses her skill 1. And if you were to use her highlight skill, it deals 90% attack as fire damage to all foes and increases their damage taken by 19.6% for 2 turns, which that just makes it so your party's doing even more damage after she uses her highlight skill. Like I said, I personally prefer to run her on, but she is a persona you could just slot in normally. She's just a great one to have around. And I know the title says 5, but there's going to be 6 personas in here. Honestly, 5 just looks better for the title. But number 6 here is going to be Principality. Honestly, this is just a great medic persona that you can acquire in the early game if you do need Wonder to be more of a sustain unit for your team. The way Principality works is that you can still build Wonder with offensive stats, because the way that Principality's skill works, that he restores 36% attack plus 1089 HP to one ally and increases their defense by 18% for 2 turns. And honestly, this is great because you can still build Wonder offensively for the other 2 personas you'll be carrying, but they'll still output good healing even built on attack with Principality. And if that wasn't enough sustain for you, the way that this passive works is that after using a healing skill, it increases the entire party's defense by 17.5%, making him even better at sustaining the team and giving them heals and keeping their health up at the same time. And if you were to overclock this one, it goes up to 20% instead of the base 17.5. If you were in the situation where the whole party's HP was low and you need to get a jail-free card, the way his highlight skill works is that he restores HP equal to 48.6% of attack, plus 1,471 HP to all allies, basically just bringing them all back to life even if you're basically already dead. Again, if you needed a medic on your team and you needed Wonder to be some sort of sustain unit, Principality is honestly just a great option because you can still build Wonder offensively and have great healing come out of him. Hopefully this helps some of you guys out, and if it did, I would love if you could like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one when I do something like this again. I'm out. Peace.